Newstalk ZB.
23 minutes away from 8. Monday morning is Prime Minister time, and he is in the studio once again with us. Good morning to you. Can I just give you the smallest amount of advice? Take it or leave it. But I'm here to help. So I'm watching you yesterday at your railway crossing, and
what a stand-up that was.
And so I'm watching you at the railway crossing yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, so the boots I can forgive you because you're with a spade, and I get it, and you got a nice pair of brogues. You don't want to ruin those, so I get that. High-vis vest seems to be a thing.
Take the suit jacket off?
Yeah, no, you can do all of that. But what's the safety glasses for? What was the problem with the spade? What was going to happen with a spade?
I literally get there, I show up, I say hello to some people, I get handed some stuff to put on.
Right.
And I don't know, I guess maybe as I put the shovel into the ground, whether worried about a stone or something coming
flicking
to the air.
I thought, mate, you're overly dressed for a spade.
Yes. Yeah, I do know what you mean.
If you've been driving a digger...
Yeah.
I'd get it.
I think the safety goggles with the hard hats and the high vis on the test train ride of the CRL was really quite something. So Winston may have had a point about that.
Okay. Now, the events, Sedema I'm watching over the weekend, Sedema as in the hotel chain, said Auckland, and so you got this two-speed economy, and we'll come to the Reserve Bank in a moment. So they're saying we are desperate for events. If you have events, we will fill hotel rooms. So I'm reading over the weekend, we've got too many hotels in Auckland, we haven't got enough in Queenstown.
Yep.
Is there something that we need to do?
Yeah, well, that's the sort of thing that we're open to looking at, and I know Louise Upston's thinking about the Major Events Fund in particular, because I agree with you. I think that is something that is genuinely stimulating economic activity versus rinky-dink. You know, in this point when it's tough in Auckland, there's a whole bunch of calls for stimulatory spending and doing stuff. You can do crazy cost of living payments like we saw under the last lot, or you can genuinely do things like that. And I think we should rethink our whole major events. And you need to, because it's a pipeline of activity. You've actually got to stuff it with things that may not pay off just this month, but actually will pay off in a year or two ahead as well. And you've got to signal that. So I've asked for a total rethink on major events. The model that I looked at was actually, I think I spoke to you about it before, is Victoria under Jeff Kennett. They had a major event every quarter. They had medium events every month. And they had micro events every week. Yep. And that's the kind of thing that we've got to really think about, that major events.
Are we thinking about it, or are we doing it?
No, we're doing it. So Louise Upston is tourism and hospitality, and I've asked her to run the major events fund as well, and think about what more we can do in that space.
So on Friday we get the banking inquiry. This is cross-party. There is no magic bullet. I've been trying to say this long. This thing that Nicola's got, and I think you bought into as well, that there's some sort of scam out there in the banking world, clearly is not true. They looked for a year to find something. They couldn't find it.
Yeah, look, they came out with 19 recommendations.
Oh, of course
a lot of it was pretty similar to the 14 that the Commerce Commission had done with their market study. Yeah, we need more innovation, open banking, get rid of some AML stuff that's constraining stuff. Again, a big thing is really the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's capital rules review, which is going on. They'll announce where they are with their proposals today.
Good.
Which will be good.
Do you know what that announcement is?
No, not really, but I know.
Are you serious?
No, I've not got a sense of where it will go, but I haven't seen the detail of the report or anything like that. But I think you've seen people say, hey, listen, those settings are way too conservative. And
Couldn't agree more.
That actually drives up the cost of lending and interest rates, and it also creates risk for agriculture.
Exactly. The actual problem was, Adrian, or money for a rainy day. We know banks are profitable. There isn't a problem. I mean, you guys have overstoked this, haven't you? There isn't a scandal in the banking sector.
No, but as a government, we should make sure that everything is the settings are as competitive as they possibly can be. And genuinely, those are things like the open banking piece of your ability to move your information and accounts around, the fact that banks, when they're appraising you for a loan, should have the same criteria. All those things don't sound that sexy, but they all add up to make a much more competitive setting. Obviously, we've got the $500 million capital raise for KiwiBank. That's up to $4 billion. That creates $4 billion more lending. That creates $10 billion worth of household lending. That's actually quite material in terms of impact that it has.
One analyst over the weekend said it just makes it another big bank. Nothing changes. See, I mean, if nothing, I mean, good on you. I don't mind if they're big and they're successful. Fantastic. Let them be successful. But if there's no fundamental core problem with the industry, you tinkering with it doesn't actually change it, does it?
No, but when you've got 14 things that have come out of Commerce Commission, when you've got 19 things that have come out of a select committee inquiry, and there are some common sense things about regulatory settings that we can adjust, we should do that. Obviously, KiwiBank and getting them capital, obviously the Reserve Bank of New Zealand thinking about its capital rules, all of that is very helpful.
Okay.
And we should, our job is to make sure the operating system is as competitive as it possibly can be by each sector.
Fair enough. And with the announcement today from the Reserve Bank, if they don't curtail some of that money put aside for a rainy day, you're not going to be a happy Prime Minister.
Correct. Right. I mean, I think the settings have been too conservative, and I think that came through actually in the Select Committee inquiry. When you look at agricultural lending, for example, it's not just about the capital requirements, it's also been about the risk assessment that they do as well. And
so can you instruct that? Because the argument is that it's a greater risk lending to a farm than it is to a bloke in Ponsonby downtown buying their first house. Is that true or not, in your view?
Well, I mean, it depends, but I mean, I don't think that. I think that's been one of the issues that we've highlighted is, hey, listen, that doesn't all feel right. It's not. I mean, you're looking at the rural economy at the moment. It's a pretty good place to send money
100%.
to. Dairy.
But the difference is with the reserve money from the Reserve Bank, that's a specific policy that the retail banks have got to follow.
Correct. They've got to hold more capital, which means they have to pass that on with higher costs and higher interest rates.
Seeing the rural community, though, as a higher risk is an approach from the retail bank, and that's an attitude. You can't legislate or regulate attitude, can you?
No, but some of the capital rule settings have actually led to them assessing risk very differently by sector, and some of that's not right. And so I think you'll actually see I hope you'll see, or what I'd like to see, is actually a much more pragmatic.
You know what's going to happen, don't you? Well, why do you tell me you don't know what's going to happen when you clearly do?
I haven't seen the report. I honestly haven't. But I'm just saying, I think all of us, a number of places, it's come from so many different places. Hey, listen, these capital rules that were put in place by Robertson and Orr have driven up interest rates and the higher cost of lending. It does need to be revisited.
Speaking of the Reserve Bank, the other thing that was fascinating last week was you were busy telling us what a great day it was because Christian had done another 25 points. Why can't you? I know why you can't, but why don't you? Because you must be tempted to say what he really should have done is 50 when he didn't do a damn thing, when he missed the whole economy going backwards, and that was his job then, and he's not doing his job properly.
Yeah, well, I meet with him once before any of those sort of announcements happen, and I can often give my views in that case. But
and do you?
But that's me giving my reckons and my perspective. But what was interesting was you would have seen they published that actually 2 of the 6. 4 voted for 25 and 2 voted for 50, But that doesn't fix your problem, which is the economy's stalled because he's not doing his part or they're not doing their part. Yeah, well, I mean, I hear that frustration. I get that. But he's also got 2 more shots before Christmas. And
too late. Too late.
No, I get it.
Should have been in May.
I get you. Yeah.
Do you agree with me?
Well, I personally, I do. Yeah, right. I do. Yeah, I do. I think.
And is that what you told him in the meeting?
Pretty much. Yep.
Right.
So that's fine. So I can give my views, but I respect the independence of the Reserve Bank, Mike, under legislation.
But you're the one who's going to lose their job next year if the economy doesn't come right because some people didn't do their job properly at the right time because they couldn't see a contraction. How you're at the Reserve Bank and you fail to see an economy going backwards is beyond me.
Yeah, we had very strong growth at the end of last year, or it got stronger in the first quarter of this year. We hit April and Liberation Day, no doubt about it. I reckon the economy's contracted over April, June, July, April, May, June. July, we're now growing. July, August, this quarter will be growing again.
You believe them? So you think Q3's okay, Q4's even better?
I think Q2 was probably contracted slightly. I think Q3 will be positive slightly, and Q4 is looking really good. And if you look at that forecast, they're still saying you're on track for 2.7% growth over the next, average over the next few years, the 240,000 jobs, and it does step up again.
Do you know why I don't believe that? Because if we're on track for, I hope I'm wrong. If we're on track for 2.7% growth, we're outgrowing Australia.
Yep.
So you don't look convinced either, do you? You saw that you didn't.
No, I do. No, I looked at the Australian budget, and if you're looking at an Australian budget where they're not in surplus for 10 years, they're talking about a $1 trillion to $1.2 trillion deficit. You're looking at a growth rate that is going to be really comparable, if not ahead of where Australia is. That's quite reasonable. So, I mean, I get it, but I think we actually have done a lot of the right things that we had to deal with to to take our medicine, to deal with that recession that was created artificially that was worse than it needed to be. I think we're doing the right things for the long term. Some of those RMA reforms, education reforms, what we're doing on trade and investment. Our exports are up 7 to 9% this year. There's a lot of good stuff going on in the economy, and there's also signs that activity is coming back to the economy as well. Just
real quick, the Electricity Authority who announced that investigation, where were they last winter and the winter before? Were they asleep?
Well, we've had an almighty come to Jesus chat since last year. We've had a series of electricity meetings, frankly, and energy, because we shouldn't have an electricity problem or an energy crisis in New Zealand when we've got abundant natural resources. So we put a strategic coal reserve in place to make sure.
Did you put a rocket under the Electricity Authority?
It's suffice to say we've had a series of meetings in my office. Yeah.
The only thing you can do to make me happy this morning is announce that foreign buyers are going to be able to buy a house.
And it is coming so close. I'm telling you, Mike, we are weeks away. We are weeks away.
How many? Two or three?
It could be down 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
Do you know the date?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Is it announced on a Sunday?
I will make sure you know them in advance.
Well, just tell me now. I'm available to you now.
No, I can't tell you now, but I tell you it's coming. But so's Christmas.
Okay, but it's coming before Christmas.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely.
Right.
Nice to see you. Appreciate it. Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, 13 to 8.